What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. It's another video with your main man, Mr. Unstoppable. And today I wanted to talk about negative self-talk, man. Negative self-talk. This is something that I've dealt with a long period of my life. Sometimes I still have those negative thoughts too as well, because that's just me being a human being, But negative self-talk is just something that just kills people, man. It's the worst. Your mind, your mental faculty, your mental garden, it's something that's so powerful because it dictates everything about you. How you interact with this world, how you think about yourself, how you interact with other people, the energy that you put out. It your mind can either hurt you or help you. It either works with you or works against you. And the craziest thing about negative self-talk is a lot of the things that we are repeating inside of our heads each and every day that aren't good for us, that aren't positive, are very negative. They don't even come from us. They're not even our thoughts. We have so many amount of like reoccurring thoughts per day. I think it's like a couple thousand or something like that. But most of those thoughts are reoccurring thoughts that we have been thinking for a long time, probably over the last like how many years, And a lot of the negative self-talk, like I said, doesn't even come from you. It comes from things that people have told you in your past that you might have held on to, things that don't serve you, things when somebody told you something about yourself that wasn't necessarily true, or probably wasn't true, things that aren't true that they've told you before that you are carrying along with you every single day. And it affects how you view yourself and how you interact with people and what you believe, If somebody told you were stupid, when you were in, middle school one day, and you held on to that until now, which I actually had somebody that I spoke to who dealt with that. And she said she used to always think she was dumb because when she was in like middle school, somebody told her that was really close to her, told her that she was dumb just because she wasn't really applying herself. But as she got older, she noticed that she's actually quite intelligent, and she is. When I used to speak to her, we would talk about, nerdy stuff, like she liked to read books and things like that, stuff like I like to do. But you don't have to listen to the negative voices that are inside of your head. So whenever you have a negative thought, I want you to do an exercise, right? Because you have to protect your mental garden. This is the most precious thing that you have, your mind. So you have to guard it. You have to guard it well, because whatever seeds that you plant into it are going to grow. So you want to start pulling out the weeds from the root, all that BS that those BS thoughts that people have put onto you and stuff that you believe based on like your reaction to life happening. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes things happen and then we have a bad reaction, and then we hold that onto ourselves. We hold that in our minds. And then every time something happens, we look for it because we create a bias inside of our mind. You create a bias inside of your mind. So when things don't look familiar from what you've seen before, then your body and your mind is gonna reject it. But what you got to do is you got to start taking those negative thoughts. You don't have to subscribe to anything that is playing in your mind, because these are not your thoughts. Like I said, they're not actually you. They're just chatter that's happening inside of your head. So you don't have to subscribe to that. All right, whatever it is that you might be telling yourself, you might look in the mirror, you might think that you're ugly or whatever it is, or you might think that you're weak or you can't accomplish something. Start taking those mental weeds outside of your garden. So when you have that negative thought, take it out. First, you need to validate it. You need to think, okay, why am I thinking this? Is it something that I actually truly believe? Or is it something that somebody might have told me in my past? So if you can take that, break it down, and then replace that thought with a positive thought. Now, this is not something that's going to be easy. It is simple though, because repetition is how things get stuck. If you continuously do something over and over and over, and these thoughts, there's no telling how long you've been thinking about them and having these thoughts and subscribing to these thoughts. But usually, just like an email of something that you don't want, you can unsubscribe at any time. You don't have to believe this story that you're telling yourself inside of your head, that this mental chatter is telling you. You can drop that book at any time. So whenever you have these negative thoughts, reach in, grab them by the root and pull them out. And then I want you to replace that thought with something positive. So if you say today, man, life is so trash, man, I'm so depressed, right? break that down first. You want to figure out why it is that you're thinking that. And then replace that. So if you're feeling depressed or you feeling like life is just terrible, think about everything that you have and everything that you are for you to have gratitude. And this is why gratitude is so elevating, because again, with your mind, whatever you focus on, if you focus on a bunch of negative thoughts, that's what you're going to attract to you. You want to do the exact opposite. You know, you are a very powerful being. You are made in the image of God. You know, I'm not a very religious or Christian or nothing like that, but I am a spiritual person and I do believe in God. So whenever you have the amazing power to attract things to you, right? So if you're continuously thinking about negative thoughts, you're going to continuously bring that to you. And honestly, you're going to put that inside, deep inside of your mental garden, and it's going to be more hard to pull that out of there, to get those negative thoughts out of there, to change. But you do have the capacity to be anything that you want. You can always change. That's the beautiful thing about human beings. No matter what state that you are in right now, you can always change it. You can always change it. It might be a little bit harder because it's been there for that long, for a lot longer than maybe someone else, but it is possible. So always understand that. So as you're replacing these negative thoughts, understand why you're having them, and then I want you to replace it with something positive. If you think life is bad, start thinking about what you have to be grateful for. Write it down. You can start a gratitude list. I do that myself. Write down 3 things that you're grateful for. Everybody, the fact that you're alive and breathing is that you have another chance. Every single day you wake up is another life. You don't have to be the person you was yesterday. So that's one thing that you can put on your gratitude list, you know? So that's one way that you can start swapping those negative thoughts out, because I know it's a rough thing because we hold on to a lot of things from our past. All of us deal with trauma in some way, shape, form, or fashion, even myself. And I'm working to change that within myself too as well. And it's been a beautiful process, a rough process for sure, but it's been a beautiful process because I have my own negative thoughts too as well. And this is why I'm talking to you guys about it, because I want you to be able, I want somebody to watch this video, whether it's like 2 weeks from now, a month from now, a year from now, 10 years from now, to watch this video and understand that you can change and you don't have to subscribe to any negative thoughts that are inside of your head. You dictate how you are, all right? If you don't like something, you have the ability to change it, all right? And always keep that in mind and guard your mental faculty. If you got people around you that are being super negative to you and putting those thoughts into your head, because a lot of times that's where it comes from, your environment, the people that you've been around, you know, when you were younger. It's not your fault that these things are in your head, but it is your responsibility to make the change, to get them out of there and change yourself. So practice mindfulness. Think about your thoughts today after you watch this video. Every time you have a negative thought, understand why that's happening. Unsubscribe from it immediately and place it with a positive thought, the exact opposite, and watch how your life changes. And watch how you bring a lot more positive things into your life, because whatever you focus your energy on, which is your spiritual currency, you're going to attract more of that, all right? And it's up to you, and you're a powerful being, so use your power for the benefit of not only of you, but other people around you, because the better that you get, the better everybody gets, all right? That's today's video. Always remember, no obstacle is stronger than the power that you have within. Stay unstoppable. Peace.